Maya was adjusting the camera in her Portland apartment when a chilling sensation ran down her spine. During the live stream, her pupils dilated and she saw it. Headlights cutting through the rain. Twisted metal. Jake's muffled scream. "Guys," her voice trembled. 23,000 viewers watched as she, pale, whispered, "Something terrible is going to happen." The chat exploded with comments, but Maya could only think of her friends returning from Mount Hood on that rainy night. Maya's apartment in the Pearl District was bathed in the bluish light of her streaming equipment. Outside, the typical October rain in Portland drummed against the panoramic windows, creating a mesmerizing rhythm that contrasted with the chaos in her mind. 23,000 people were tuned in, waiting for her usual content on skincare routines and travel tips. But Maya couldn't focus on anything but the vision that had invaded her consciousness. "Guys, I need a second," she said, backing away from the camera. Her hands were shaking as she grabbed her phone. Jake and Emma had left for Mount Hood the morning before, planning to return tonight. It was almost 11 p.m., and Highway 26 was notoriously dangerous in the rain. The chat exploded with messages. "Maya, are you okay? What happened? Why are you so pale?" She tried to smile for the camera, but the image kept replaying in her mind. The headlights of an out-of-control truck. The metallic sound of the impact. Jake screaming Emma's name. "Guys, my friends are traveling, and I had a weird feeling." Maya called Jake. Ringing ... voicemail. The cold pit in her stomach intensified. "Jake, please answer. It's urgent." She tried Emma. Nothing. The number that wouldn't leave her head was 11:47 p.m. In her vision, the clock on the dashboard of Jake's car showed that exact time when everything happened. "Maya, you're scaring us," commented at Portland Girl 2001. "I'm sorry. It's just ... She paused, looking directly into the camera. "Have you ever felt like something bad was going to happen? Like you could see the future?" The messages came in by the thousands. Some scoffed, others shared similar experiences. Maya wasn't interested in engagement now. 11:23 p.m., 24 minutes. She called again, and again. The sound of the rain outside seemed louder, as if it echoed the storm she saw in her premonition. Maya began to pace her apartment, her phone pressed to her ear, whispering, "Answer, answer, answer," like a desperate mantra. "I'm going to try something different," she said to the camera. She opened the location-sharing app with her friends. Jake had been offline for 2 hours. Emma for 3. This wasn't normal. Jake always kept his GPS on during road trips. The silent apartment amplified every sound. The hum of the air conditioning, the ticking of the clock on the wall, her own ragged breathing. Maya felt cold sweat trickling down her back, despite the controlled temperature of the room. 11:31 p.m., 16 minutes. "Guys, I'm going to try one more time," she said, dialing again. This time, Jake answered. "Maya, why are you calling so much? We're driving." Jake. "Thank God. Listen, you guys need to pull over." Mal. "What?" "Maya, are you okay? Your voice is strange." From the other end of the line, she could hear Emma laughing at some music on the radio. The sound of tires on the wet pavement. The steady hum of Jake's Honda Civic engine. "Jake, please, trust me. Pull over somewhere safe. Wait for the rain to pass. Maya, we just want to get home. It's almost midnight and... Anno!" She screamed, making the chat explode with reactions. "Jake, please. I'm having a really bad feeling. A really, really bad feeling." Silence on the other end. Then Emma's voice. "Maya, what's going on?" "Emma, make Jake pull over. Please, do it for me." 11:36 p.m., 11 minutes. Time was passing too quickly. "Maya, you're freaking out," Jake said in that tone she knew well, part affectionate, part condescending. "We're fine. The road is okay. It's not raining that hard." But Maya could hear it on the call. The rain was indeed heavy. The windshield wipers worked at a frantic pace, that urgent, rhythmic sound she recognized from the Premonition. Jake, you don't understand. I saw it. I saw what's going to happen. Saw what? What are you talking about? The chat was frenetic. Some viewers started recording the stream. Others speculated if it was a performance piece. Maya ignored everything, focused only on saving her friends. 11:47 Jake. At 11:47 p.m. something terrible is going to happen. 10 minutes left. 10 minutes. Emma took the phone. Maya, breathe. Are you feeling sick? We'll stop at the next rest stop if you want. But, yes. Stop at the next rest stop. Anywhere. The engine sound changed. Jake was stepping on the gas. Actually, Maya is a little paranoid today. We're going to speed up to get there sooner and make her feel better. Nitrogen monoxide. Jake, don't speed up. But the call became staticky. The cell service on Highway 26 was spotty, especially on that winding stretch near Government Camp. Maya felt the apartment spin around her. The lights of Portland blinked through the wet window, creating a kaleidoscopic effect that made her nauseous. 11:41 p.m. 6 minutes. She ran to her computer, opened Google Maps, and tried to check real-time road conditions. Traffic alert. Heavy rain conditions on Highway 26. Drive with caution. Nothing about accidents. Yet. Chat, does anyone live near Highway 26? Can anyone help? Maya was desperate now, sweating, her hands trembling as she typed in her own stream's chat at truckdriver_PDX. I'm on 26 now. Heavy rain, but traffic is okay. Where exactly? What mile marker? At truckdriver_PDX, passing mile 40, heading for Portland. Mile 45 was where it would happen. Maya knew it with a certainty that terrified her. She called again. Ringing, ringing, ringing. Voicemail. 11:43 p.m. 4 minutes. Desperation took over completely. Maya started calling the police. 911. What's your emergency? My friends are going to get into an accident on Highway 26, near mile marker 45, in 4 minutes. Ma'am, how do you know this? I know. Please, send someone. Did you witness an accident, ma'am? No, but... Ma'am, we cannot dispatch units based on ... premonitions. Click. Maya screamed in frustration. The chat was live. Thousands of people watching her desperation in real time. Some started calling emergency services too, but she knew there wasn't enough time. 11:45 p.m. 2 minutes. She called Jake again. This time he answered, annoyed. Maya, stop it. You're scaring Emma. Jake, please, at least slow down. We're going the normal speed, 50 miles an hour, okay? Relax. 50 miles an hour. In the Premonition, the speedometer read exactly when the truck appeared. Coming from the opposite lane, out of control in the rain. Jake, there's a truck. The line went dead. 11:46 p.m. 1 minute. Maya stood hypnotized, staring at the stream's digital clock. The viewers watched in tense silence. Some offered comfort. Others thought it was an act. She couldn't move. 11:47 p.m. The silence in the apartment was deafening. Maya held her breath. 11:48 p.m. Could it have worked? Were they okay? She called again. Ringing ... ringing. The number you have dialed is outside the coverage area. No, this couldn't be happening. Maya stood paralyzed for 30 endless seconds, her phone trembling in her hand. The apartment seemed to have shrunk around her. The air grew heavy as if a storm were brewing inside. Outside, the rain had lessened to a fine drizzle, but the silence was more terrifying than any noise. Maybe the coverage. Maybe it's just the coverage, she murmured to herself, to the camera, to the 31,000 viewers who were now watching the stream. The count had tripled in 15 minutes. The word had spread on Twitter. Hashtag Maya Premonition was trending. She tried Jake again. Out of service. Emma, out of service. Jake again. Out of service. No. Maya began pacing circles in the apartment. Her legs were weak, as if she were walking on quicksand. The chat exploded with messages of support and skepticism in equal measure. At newsreporter_KGW. Maya, I'm from KGW News. Can I check with our traffic team? Please. Highway 26, mile 45. There might have been an accident. Minutes stretched into hours. Maya couldn't stop calling her friends. With each out-of-service message, her heart sank further. She opened all the local news websites. Coin, KGW, Oregon Live. Nothing yet. 11:52 p.m. Newsreporter_KGW. Our team confirms. There are no official reports of accidents on 26 at the moment. Relief flooded Maya's body like warm water. Thank God. Thank God. She almost cried with happiness. Guys, I think it was just a scare. My imagination. Their phones must just have no signal. But the relief only lasted for seconds. A truck driver_PDX sent a private message. Maya, I'm seeing emergency lights ahead. Mile 44. A lot of lights. Her blood ran cold. No. She went back to calling compulsively. Out of service. Out of service. Out of service. 11:58 p.m. At newsreporter_KGW. Maya, our team is confirming an incident on Highway 26. Still gathering information. The apartment began to spin. Maya leaned on the table where her streaming equipment was, knocking a ring light to the floor. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the tense silence. She couldn't breathe properly. The air felt thin, as if she were on top of a mountain. The Portland lights through the window blurred into colorful smudges through her tears. Jake ... double quotes, she whispered to the phone. Emma ... 12:03 Emma. 3 news sites simultaneously confirmed. Fatal accident on Highway 26 near government camp. 2 victims. Identities not revealed until family notification. Maya collapsed into her chair. The world disappeared around her. The 47,000 viewers watched in silence as she processed the impossible. She had seen the future, tried to change it, and yet. I tried, she whispered to the camera, tears streaming freely. I tried to save them. The chat was divided between genuine condolences and skeptics who still thought it was an elaborate staging. Maya didn't care anymore. Nothing mattered. She picked up her phone one last time and dialed Jake. To her complete surprise, he answered. Maya? She nearly fainted. Jake, you're okay. Where are you? We're at the hospital. Emmanuel Medical Center. The hospital? Why? What happened? We ... Maya. It was bizarre. When you called screaming, Emma got so worried she made me stop at the rest stop at mile 42. We stayed there for about 10 minutes, arguing whether it was nonsense or not. Maya couldn't process it. They were alive? When we left the rest stop and passed mile 45, Maya, a horrible accident had just happened. A car just like mine, completely destroyed. If we hadn't stopped. The camera captured Maya in complete shock. 52,000 people watched as she tried to understand. She had saved her friends, but other people had died in their place. We came to the hospital because Emma is in shock. She keeps repeating that you saved our lives. Maya looked directly into the camera, her eyes red, her expression vacant. Guys ... I don't know what just happened here. Maya hung up the phone and stared at the screen for long minutes, unable to process what had happened. The apartment was silent, except for the low hum of the electronic equipment and the distant sound of Portland's night traffic. 58,000 people were waiting for her reaction, but she couldn't form words. The rain had stopped completely. Through the panoramic window, the city lights seemed brighter, sharper, as if a filter had been removed from reality. Maya felt disconnected from her own body, watching the scene from the outside. She began, then stopped. How to explain the inexplicable? How to process that she had seen the future, altered the events, but not been able to prevent the tragedy completely? The chat was buzzing. At philosophimager_PSU. Maya, do you understand what happened? You changed fate? At Skepticalsera. Coincidence. Accidents happen on that road every week. At Spiritual Seeker. The universe spoke through you. You were chosen. At newsreporter_KGW. Maya, we got confirmation. The accident involved a gray Honda Civic. The same model as your friend's car. 2 fatal victims. Maya felt nauseous. Not only had she seen the future, she had specifically seen Jake and Emma's S-car dying in that location at that time. But when they stopped at the rest stop... Guys, I need to process this, she said finally, her voice hoarse from so much screaming and crying. 2 people died today. 2 people I didn't know, driving a car just like my friends, in the same place. At the same time I saw in my vision. She stood up and walked to the window. Portland stretched out below her. Millions of lives happening simultaneously, each with its own destiny mapped out or yet to be traced. Do you think fate is fixed? She asked the camera, without turning around. Or are there variations? Like a game where you can choose different paths, but the ending is always the same. At University Prof. In quantum physics, we talk about multiple simultaneous realities. Maybe you saw one of them. Maya returned to her chair, picked up her phone, and opened the news. The first photos of the accident appeared. Twisted metal, scattered glass, red and blue lights cutting through the darkness. It was exactly as she had seen it, down to the smallest details. The victims were a young couple returning from a romantic trip to Mount Hood. She read aloud from the KGW report. Jessica Martinez, 24, a graphic designer. David Chun, 25, a freelance photographer. The world stopped. Maya reread the names. David Chun, photographer. The same profession as Jake. Jessica Martinez. Graphic designer. The same profession as Emma. No ... double quote, she whispered. This can't be real. She clicked on the victims' photos. A couple smiling in front of Multnomah Falls. The same waterfall Jake and Emma had visited yesterday. Jessica had brown hair like Emma. David wore the same kind of glasses as Jake. Guys ... Maya looked directly into the camera, her eyes wide. The victims, they were practically identical to my friends. Same age, same professions, visited the same places. The chat exploded with theories. At Conspiracy Theory, parallel realities collided. At Rationale Thinker, a terrifying coincidence, but a coincidence nonetheless. At Mystic Mama, the universe tried to correct an anomaly in the continuum. Maya felt like she was losing her sanity. She had saved Jake and Emma, but David and Jessica, their perfect doubles, had died in their place. As if the universe insisted that those specific deaths had to happen, regardless of who was in the car. She called Jake again. Jake, tell me one thing. Do you know Jessica Martinez and David Chun? Who? The people who died in the accident. No. Why? Have you ever been on the Instagram at jessicadisons_PDX? Silence on the other end. Then, Maya, how do you know that? Emma follows that account. We even commented today that Jessica looked like her. The phone slipped from Maya's hand. Jake, did you interact with them on social media? Emma sent Jessica a DM yesterday, asking about a filter she used in a photo at Mount Hood. Why are you asking this? Maya hung up and looked directly into the camera. Her expression was empty, like someone who had seen beyond the veil of reality. Guys, I think I didn't save my friends. I just changed who was going to die. Maya stood frozen for long minutes, staring at the phone in her hands. The apartment seemed to have turned into an echo chamber, amplifying every small sound. The ticking of the clock, the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen, her own ragged breathing. 65,000 people were waiting for her next words, but Maya was lost in a labyrinth of impossible possibilities. She opened Jessica Martinez's Instagram. At JessicaEdisons_PDX, the profile was filled with photos of Oregon, Crater Lake, Multnomah Falls, Mount Hood, the same locations that Emma posted regularly. But there was something more disturbing. The photos were almost identical. Same angles, same editing style, same type of inspirational captions. "This can't be real," Maya murmured, scrolling through the feed. One photo caught her attention. Jessica and David on Mount Hood, posted 2 days ago. The caption read, "Sometimes the best adventures are the spontaneous ones. Last-minute decision to escape the city with my favorite person. Hashtag Mount Hood, hashtag adventure, hashtag love." Maya opened Emma's profile on her own phone. There was an almost identical photo from the same location with a similar caption. "Best spontaneous trip ever. Sometimes you just need to escape with your person. Hashtag Mount Hood, hashtag adventure, hashtag best life." The two photos were posted with only a 2-hour difference. Guys, double quotes, Maya showed both phones to the camera. "Look at this. 2 photos from the same place on the same day with almost identical captions." The chat went into a frenzy. At quantum physicist, multiple worlds theory. They existed on the same vibrational frequency. At skeptical mind, coincidence. Mount Hood is popular. A lot of people go there. At spiritual guru, soulmates in different bodies. The universe tried to correct an anomaly. Maya continued to investigate. David Chun, the photographer who died, had an online portfolio that was almost identical to Jake's. Same style, same types of clients, same age, same photographic equipment. She checked the school where they studied, Portland State University, the same one where Jake and Emma had graduated. Jake studied photography at PSU from 2018 to 2022, Maya said to the camera. David Chun also studied photography at PSU from 2018 to 2022. She went deeper. David's LinkedIn showed that he worked at the same freelance photography company as Jake during the summer of 2021. They weren't just similar. They had shared the same spaces, the same experiences, maybe even known each other. Maya called Jake again. "Jake, did you know David Chen from college?" "Maya, why are you obsessed with? Answer me. Maybe?" "The name sounds familiar. Why? Did you work at the same company in 2021? A long silence. "Maya, how do you know that?" "I worked at Northwest Photography Services for 3 months. "How do you?" "David also worked there. During the same period." More silence. Jake, is it possible that you met?" Yes, I think so. "There was a guy named David Asian, wore glasses, "Maya, why does this matter?" "Because he died in your place." Maya hung up and looked directly at the camera. Her expression was empty, like someone who had seen beyond the veil of reality. "Guys, I think I've discovered something impossible. Jake and David weren't just similar. They knew each other. They worked together. Jessica and Emma weren't just alike. They followed each other on social media, visited the same places, posted almost identical content." She paused, trying to process. It's like the universe had 2 versions of the same story happening at the same time, and when I interfered with one of them, At philosophy student, you forced the convergence between 2 parallel timelines. Maya felt shivers. Maybe I didn't see the future. Maybe I saw a parallel reality where other versions of my friends died. And when I tried to prevent it, the apartment suddenly grew cold. Maya looked at the air conditioner, but it was off. The cold came from inside her, a feeling that she had meddled with forces beyond human comprehension. Guys, I need to go to the hospital. I need to see Jake and Emma with my own eyes. She started to turn off her equipment when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Maya? The voice was a woman's, crying. Are you the Maya who was talking about the accident? Who is this? I'm Jessica's sister. I saw your stream. How did you know? How did you know it was going to happen? Maya felt the world crumble around her. You need to tell me everything about this vision, please. My sister ... She called me at 11:30 saying an influencer had talked about an accident. She got nervous and wanted to stop at a rest stop, but David said it was nonsense ... double quote. The call dropped. Maya looked at the camera, completely lost. Guys ... the victims knew about my stream. They heard me. They got nervous, but they kept driving anyway. 70,000 people watched in silence as Maya realized she hadn't saved anyone. She had only transferred the destiny of one reality to another, and in the process, allowed the true victims to know about their own death before it happened. Maya stood motionless for several minutes, the phone still in her hand, processing the impossibility of what she had just heard. Jessica had watched the stream, known about the premonition, tried to protect herself, but still. The apartment seemed to have turned into a vacuum chamber, sucking all the air out and leaving only a deafening silence. She heard me, Maya whispered to the camera, 73,000 people witnessing her mental breakdown. Jessica Martinez heard me talking about the accident, and yet she couldn't escape. Maya ran to the computer and opened her stream's analytics system. At 11:32 p.m., there had been a spike in viewers from Portland, exactly when she was desperately trying to save Jake and Emma. Among the new viewers, at Jessicadisons_PDX, my God ... Maya showed the screen to the camera. Jessica joined the live stream at 11:32. She was online, watching me as she drove toward her death. The chat exploded with increasingly elaborate theories about fate, parallel realities, and temporal paradoxes. But Maya wasn't paying attention. She returned to Jessica's Instagram and saw something she had missed before, the last story, posted at 11:45 p.m. It was a 4-second video filmed inside the car. Jessica appeared briefly, whispering, "Guys, there is this girl on Instagram Live saying something terrible is gonna happen on Highway 26. I'm kind of freaking out. David thinks it's nonsense, but..." The video cut off abruptly. 11:45 p.m., 2 minutes before the accident. Maya felt nauseous. Not only had she failed to save the victims, she had made their last moments even more terrifying by making them aware that they were going to die. "Guys, I need to stop the stream," Maya said, her hands shaking as she reached for the end button. This ... this has gone too far. I can't anymore ... But when she touched the mouse, the screen froze. Completely. The stream continued live. She could see the viewer count increasing, now 80,000 people, but she couldn't control anything. What the hell ... Maya tried to close the browser. Nothing. Ctrl plus Alt plus Del. Nothing. The computer was stuck on the live page, as if something were forcing the broadcast to continue.